The story, The Wild Swans. Once upon a time, in a distant land, there was a king who lived with his beloved prince and the only princess after the queen passed away. After some time, the king remarried without knowing that the new queen was a wicked sorceress. She disliked the king's children from his previous marriage, and she constantly complained about them to the king, seeking ways to banish the children from the castle. The children are too mischievous. Every day, the servants come to complain about their new pranks, the queen said. The queen complained so much that, before long, the king began to believe these rumors. First, the queen sent her daughter to a farm not far away, where she would live with a peasant family until the age of 15. The queen, with her evil heart, also wanted to banish the princes from the palace, but they were too young. The king, however, disagreed, and the queen forbade the children from leaving their rooms. One night, the queen approached the prince's room and, with a single curse, turned them into 11 wild swans. Then, she opened the window, and the transformed boys, now swans, flew out into the night. Many years passed, and the girl, now 15, returned to the castle. On that day, she awaited an audience with her father, not knowing that the new queen, also known as the evil queen, observed her. Witnessing the princess's extraordinary beauty, the evil queen felt envy and anger at the fact that the princess had returned to the royal court. While waiting for the king to return to the palace, the princess, feeling tired, decided to rest in her room. The evil queen entered the room and cast a curse. Suddenly, the princess's hair became tangled, her face transformed and darkened. When the king returned to the palace and was delighted to learn that his daughter had returned, he immediately went to her room. However, the girl, who now looked nothing like his daughter, was asleep. "Take her out of the palace immediately," he ordered. The king's guards woke the princess and escorted her out of the palace. Despite her protests and actions, nothing could make them allow her to see the king. With no other choice, the pitiful princess set off, crying as she walked. "At least I should find my brothers. If we stay together, no one can harm us," she thought. As she journeyed through the dense forest, the girl encountered an old lady. She greeted the old woman and asked, "Have you seen 11 princes around here?" "My dear girl, I have never seen 11 princes, but I have encountered 11 swans every night flying toward the south bank of the coast," replied the old lady. The princess, feeling sad, walked past the old woman and headed towards the nearby coast. As the sun set, the 11 swans, as the old lady had described, appeared next to her. The once boys had transformed into handsome princes, leaving the princess in awe. She recognized her brothers and ran towards them. As she approached, she transformed back into the beautiful princess, and, of course, her brothers recognized her immediately. They joyfully embraced each other in happiness. The curse of the evil queen was completely broken, thanks to the power of familial love. The 11 princes recounted their story to the princess. They could only turn back into humans at night, and with every sunrise, they transformed back into swans. As dawn approached, they decided to take her with them. They crafted a basket from willow branches, placed her inside, and as everything was ready, the sun rose again. Once more, the 11 princes turned into wild swans, the swans guarding the basket, and they began to flap their wings and fly. The princess felt extremely joyful as she soared with her brothers, as if it were a dream. After a while, the princess awoke to find herself in a land of clouds. A fairy was present. If you want your brothers to remain human forever, you must weave coats for them from nettles. But until you finish the coats, do not reveal this plan to anyone, or else they will forever remain swans. After delivering this message, the fairy disappeared. The princess bid farewell to her brothers. And they left for a nearby land. Shortly after, the princess began to secretly gather nettles to weave coats for her brothers. However, each time she touched the nettles, her hands would be pricked painfully and swell. Undeterred by the pain, she continued to collect the nettles and weave. One day, as she was sewing a coat made of nettle thread, a prince from the neighboring kingdom, who was hunting, noticed her. The prince was mesmerized by the princess's beauty and approached her with a greeting. "Hello, beautiful maiden. This is the first time I've seen you here. Why are you collecting nettles like this?" Not wanting to reveal her plan to anyone, the princess did not respond to the prince. "Well, I am the prince of this kingdom. If you allow me, I would like to invite you to my palace." The princess accepted the prince's invitation, thinking that she would be safer in the royal court and that she could save her brothers more quickly. The princess continued to secretly weave the unique coats for her brothers using nettle threads. One day, however, a stepbrother of the prince, seeing the princess sewing with nettle threads, suspected her of being a witch. He began to spread rumors within the royal court to have her arrested. Initially, the prince did not believe the rumors, but after some time, he started to doubt. One night, he followed the princess as she left the castle to go into the forest. When he saw her collecting nettles, he confronted her. "So, the rumors were true. If you are not a witch, why are you collecting all these nettles? I bet you are gathering them to cast some kind of spell." He immediately ordered the guards to seize her and throw her into prison. Even in the dark cell, the princess continued to sew her coats. Finally, one day, she completed all the coats. On the day of her trial, she was to be sentenced at the end of the hearing. However, just as the court was about to announce the verdict, 11 swans descended from the sky and landed next to her. Everyone was astonished, watching the swans surround the princess. "These are my brothers, my siblings. The coats are under my dress. Put them on immediately," the princess commanded. Her brothers obediently put on the coats hidden under her dress, and one unfortunate brother, lacking enough nettle threads for one sleeve, retained a swan wing. After turning back into humans, the 11 princes explained the situation to the court and the public. They stated that their sister was innocent, and the prince believed that the girl was not a witch. He asked for her forgiveness. With joy, the brothers were liberated from the curse. The princess forgave the prince, and they all returned to the castle. The prince sought to marry the princess. "Would you be willing to be my wife, beautiful princess?" he asked. "Yes, dear prince, but first, we must visit my father's kingdom together with my brothers," replied the princess. As planned, the 11 brothers visited the king's castle. The king was overjoyed to reunite with his children, and they recounted the entire story to him. "Hurry, seize the queen and bring her to me," commanded the king. After learning about the princes and the princess, the queen knew she would be arrested. So, she secretly transformed herself into a crow and flew away, never to return to the palace. The princess bid farewell to her brothers and the king to return to the prince's kingdom. They celebrated a grand wedding and lived happily ever after. The story of the swans honors love and hope, passed down through generations. Thanks for being enchanted with us. Subscribe for more magical tales. Hit the bell so you never miss the enchantment.